Breaking news, Gervonta Tank Davis is going after his hit list one by one, as Gervonta trainer Kenny Ellis revealed that Lomachenko pulling out of the negotiations with Tank is straight up him ducking. He said, quote, Loma is straight ducking. Hopefully Shakur won't duck. People say Tank is ducking Shakur. Let's see. End of the quote. So Gervonta is not playing. He's going after his hit list. Here is exactly what Gervonta trainer Kenny Ellis had to say. Check it out.
Let's see. He's I call him Duckachenko for 2024, just for 2024 only.
No. I put a picture up that I made in 2019. We was calling his ass out.
2019.
Yep. 2019.
Now,
but
it's funny.
He said we ducking. No, he ducking. He been ducking. He been ducking. Reality hit his ass when that fight was getting made. Hell no, I ain't getting there with that animal. He know what time it is.
So tell me, do you when he said he left that message, right? He left that message saying that he needs more time to prepare. He actually said that he needs to find the motivation. Listen, when you heard that word motivation,
when I heard him say that, I said it's time for him to hang the gloves up. You got a shot of being, opportunity to fight in the face of boxing. It don't get no bigger than that. If you can't find motivation for that, you ain't gonna find motivation for nothing. Hang your gloves up. It's okay. It's time for him to walk away. It ain't gonna get no bigger than that. Time for him to walk away.
So do you believe because it's his biggest payday, that it's just like you should just hang it up because you are ducking your biggest payday? Or do you feel like this fight needs to be promoted the right way? Maybe within the next 5 months, it's not enough time.
People want to see that fight yesterday. They want to see it. Don't need no 5 months. You can't find motivation. It's time to hang it up. Time to hang it up.
Do you feel like by any means that this could be one of the biggest mistakes, or do you feel like we still get the fight 2024-5?
Anything can happen, but it'll be a mistake on his behalf, It's like if you fight anybody besides Tank, they gonna boo the shit out of him. Get the fans what they want.
When you heard that message, though, what was your initial reactions?
He found out
he wasn't ducking?
He's straight ducking.
Ooh.
Straight ducking.
You think that continues? Do you think he retires and you guys don't get the fight? What are you thinking in your head right now?
If he retires and we don't get it, it's so big, It's so big. Hopefully Shakur won't duck.
What do you think?
People say Tank ducking Shakur. Let's see.
So, what do you feel like at this moment in time? Shakur should get busy. Shakur should go out his way to try to make this fight right now.
Yep. Because he the only one. Him and Lomachenko, they the only ones left. Only ones left.
One thing for sure and two things for certain. Lomachenko has been a duck his entire career. He has been protected, regardless of old media painting the narrative otherwise. For the people that's not informed, here is Lomachenko duck history. First, Lomachenko ducked the Salido rematch. Back then, Loma had the audacity to tell Salido, I don't need you, as if Salido didn't just beat him. Then, Lomachenko turned down the Manny Pacquiao fight on multiple occasions. Lomachenko also turned down the Crawford fight when Crawford challenged him to fight at a catchweight of 137 because back then old media kept saying that Loma was pound for pound number one over Bud. Meanwhile, Loma was saying that Bud was pound for pound number one over him. The moment Crawford moved up in weight, all of a sudden Lomachenko started claiming that he was pound for pound number one. Since he thought it was safe outside, there was no more Bud smoke in his city. Bud had left the city, into another weight class. Loma and old media thought to themselves back then, since Bud was no longer in or around Lomachenko division, they can start crowning Lomachenko with full force as pound for pound number one. That's when ESPN started erasing Lomachenko losses, promoting him as undefeated and as pound for pound number one, even though he was never pound for pound number one over Bud. However, that's exactly when Lomachenko caught Gervonta and Devin Haney attention, because at that time, that's when Devin Haney was Lomachenko mandatory, and Loma ended up straight up contradicting himself because he was claiming he was going for undisputed. That was his dream. But then he ended up vacating his WBC belt to avoid his mandatory Devin Haney, which made no sense at all. A straight up duck move. Well, Lomachenko didn't just duck Devin Haney at that time. He also ducked Gervonta Tank Davis. That's right. At that time before COVID, Gervonta went on TMZ and announced to the world that he's going to fight Lomachenko that year. He said that's the fight he wants. He's going to fight Lomachenko. However, Lomachenko ended up fighting Teofimo Lopez instead. In a cherry pick gone wrong, he avoided Devin Haney and Gervonta just to lose to Teo in a cherry pick gone wrong. Now remember, that's a misconception that Gervonta avoided Lomachenko all this time, which is not true at all. It was brought to my attention that when Gervonta called out Lomachenko to fight, before Lomachenko lost to Teo, when Loma was still pound for pound number one, back when old media was claiming that was the peak of Lomachenko prime, Lomachenko turned down the Gervonta fight, or at least the idea of it.
You know, everybody putting this name out there, Lomachenko, and you're hot right now. And they, you know, Lomachenko, we know what he is about. Are you interested in the Lomachenko fight, Tank?
Of course, just as a boxing fan, just top guys fighting each other. So, definitely looking for that. You know, maybe the beginning of 2020 or things like that, or the middle or the end. It don't matter.
Wow. And you're such a young guy, but do you feel like you are ready for that type of challenge now, or do you feel like you need more seasoning?
No, I think I'm old enough, to take on the challenge. I think I have enough skills. I'm maturing as a fighter, as a person. So, I think it's time.
You know, when boxing fans hear this, they are going to be excited because I think that is, without argument, one of the biggest fights that you could make in boxing, right?
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest fights that I.
Is there a guy that you would, that is that name with you? I mean, to me, it seems like Gervonta Davis.
А у вас есть, мне кажется, да, Gervonta Davis для вас мог бы быть таким вот соперником.
So I always said I'm open for the fight, but boxing politics. We have different promoters.
One potential opponent is Gervonta Davis. He's a new champion at 130. Would you want to fight him next if it came up?
I don't know. For me, he is not interesting because for what? For what? Money?
Big money?
Do you want me to throw out the picture?
No.
Now when I move up at 135, now he want to fight with me, and I read he won the fight only on pay-per-view. Hey, what are you talking about? You never has a main event. You fight only co-main event. What are you talking about? Какой это будет, как сказать, какой pay-per-view?
What kind of a pay-per-view is that going to be?
What pay-per-view you talking about? Hey.
I never seen these interviews, so let's get one thing clear. It was Lomachenko, in fact, who has been ducking Gervonta Tank Davis for years, not the other way around. The moment Gervonta called out Lomachenko to fight, Loma said, well, I'm signed to ESPN. The fight can't happen. Even though Tyson Fury, who was signed to ESPN, just fought Deontay Wilder, who was on PBC, just like Gervonta. So clearly that wasn't an excuse. However, Lomachenko used that as an excuse to kill the potential fight with Tank after Tank called him out to fight. Ironically, 4 years later, Gervonta and Lomachenko were in heavy negotiations and serious negotiations. Negotiations were going so well that Bob Arum was so optimistic that the fight was going to happen. All of a sudden, Lomachenko pulls out of the fight because he wants to spend more time with his family. He said he's not in the mood to fight Tank. I guess he's in the mood to duck after he saw what Tank did to Frank. You see, Loma said he's not motivated to fight Gervonta, who is the face of boxing, in a unification fight for his biggest money fight and one of his ultimate legacy days against an undefeated pound-for-pound fighter, but he was motivated to fight Kambosos. What even makes less sense than that, Lomachenko manager said Loma doesn't want to fight till the end of the year, even though ironically Tank and Lomachenko were in negotiations to fight at the end of the year in November. Another pathetic excuse that doesn't even make logical sense. Ironically, the same excuse Lomachenko made to duck Shakur Stevenson last year in order to fight Kambosos for less money, he used that same excuse this year to avoid the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, or I should say, to duck the Gervonta Davis fight for the biggest payday of his career, which makes Lomachenko's new nickname Vasiliy the Duck Lomachenko, as he has been a duck his whole career, just like Canelo Alvarez cherry-picking in order to protect a record that is not even perfect. The reason why Loma is turning down the opportunity to be the face of boxing and make his biggest payday along with his biggest legacy day is so he can avoid getting put to sleep like NyQuil by Tank. He'd rather cherry-pick and make less money against lower opposition. Most likely he's going to fight a guy that's holding the belt who beat Navarrete, a guy who Lomachenko already spanked in sparring. That's who Lomachenko is going to fight next. Meanwhile, you see who Gervonta want to fight next. Either Lomachenko, since he pulled out, he wants Shakur Stevenson next. Only time will tell. We shall see what happens with that. Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below on Lomachenko joining the Duck Club with Canelo Alvarez. He on that same level. He's a legendary duck in the sport of boxing. Subscribe below and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.